But first of all, we need somebody very aggressive, very good at, moderating all the panelists. Please help me to welcome Mr. Phang, CTO SRKK, to be on stage as the coordinators for the discussion. Big round of applause for Mr. Phang.
Thank you, Alex. Good morning, everyone. Great to see everyone in high spirits here. Still early in the day. So I'm here to talk about what's in the future, right? And just a show of hands, who can predict the future? Right? If you can, what would you do? Yeah? It's good that we can see what's coming, and but I also do a bit of a rewind in the past and share a little bit of some of these things that we're enjoying today, the innovation that's coming or we have or enjoying today are actually what we call science fictions of yesterday. Okay? Something from the 1960s.
If by some miracle a prophet could describe the future exactly as it was going to take place, his predictions would sound so absurd, so far-fetched, that everybody would laugh him to scorn. I'm thinking of the incredible breakthrough which has been made possible by developments in communications. These things will make possible a world in which we can be in instant contact with each other, wherever we may be, where we can contact our friends anywhere on earth, even if we don't know their actual physical location. It will be possible in that age, perhaps only 50 years from now, for a man to conduct his business from Tahiti or Bali just as well as he could from London. I am perfectly serious when I suggest that one day we may have brain surgeons in Edinburgh operating on patients in New Zealand. The only thing we can be sure of about the future is that it will be absolutely fantastic.
Okay, everyone, that was Arthur C. Clarke. Some of you may know him as a very renowned science fiction writer. Some of his more famous works was 2001, A Space Odyssey. Not sure if you read it or watched the movie. Yeah. So how many of you think that some of the things that he said is true today? Right? Astonishing, we can relate to what he's predicted in the 1960s, to be honest, 1964. And look at where we are today, and it's really more or less spot on, 50 years. Yeah? So what can we look forward to in the next decade or so? I mean, now things have speed up. We can't think 50 years ahead. We got to think in smaller, measurements. So I'll share one that I've read recently from an IDC report. So anyone can guess how much data are we consuming or creating year on year? Okay. In 2020, it is expected that we will create up to 45 zettabytes of data. Zettabytes, ladies and gentlemen. Who knows what a zettabyte is? Right? Are we creating all these new terms just to keep up with growth? Right? And what's beyond the zettabyte? I'll definitely give a prize to anyone who can tell me that. Yeah? So, and beyond 2020, in 2025, we expect from 45 up to 180 zettabytes. That's not a linear growth, exponential. So we can look forward to consuming a lot more storage, and where are we going to get all this storage from? Right? I'm sure there are a lot of hardware vendors are very happy when they hear that there's a huge demand for storage moving in the future. Yeah? And from what I can see, one thing is inevitable. Okay? My boss has always told me, one thing, change is always constant. Okay? The one thing that we can always expect is change, progress, right? Improvements. Yeah? And if we don't embrace change, we can very fast become irrelevant. Okay? Take for example today. I'm sure many of you have smartphones, right? Today, smartphones can actually rival traditional cameras. Do you agree? Right? How many of you recently has actually still continue to buy, traditional digital cameras compared to buying the latest smartphone with the best, camera, software and optics built in? I mean, look at the latest Samsung Galaxy 8. S8, sorry. Right? Beautiful device. The camera can match pretty much on par in most scenarios, in most scenarios that we are used to, compared to a DSLR. Right? That's the progress of technology. And if all the traditional camera vendors don't do something, they could very fast become irrelevant, just like what happened to Kodak years ago when they didn't, change to digital from film. Right? Change is always there. And I would like to quote from Charles Darwin that today it is people who can adapt that will survive, not the most intelligent, not the strongest. Okay? So change is very important. And how do we go about change? And that's what we're going to find out throughout this whole conference. Yeah? I'm sure all these logos on the screen are not alien to everyone. And they are creating a lot of disruptions everywhere. Yeah, think about it. All these companies that you have on screen here, they all embrace technology to create a change today. Right? Airbnb, for example, foresee there was a market of people who had property, who wanted to rent it out. Right? I'm sure some of you have property. It's not easy to find a good tenant. Right? Airbnb saw this. Airbnb also know that people are always traveling around the world, with flight tickets and travel made very much affordable today. Right? They also see that people also need a place to stay when they travel, an affordable place and a nice place as well. And so Airbnb created their platform to marry these two groups of people together, hence disrupting the market. The same can be said for Uber. All right? Every one of us here wants to have better service from the taxis, better pricing. Uber saw it as an opportunity, and they used technology to drive and to change the industry expectations. And today, how many of us still continue to use taxis compared to Grab or Uber? Yeah. So you're either a disruptor or you are being disrupted. Okay? And definitely with the growth of technology today, you can expect that technology can be a very, very strong disruptor, as what my colleagues earlier shared. Yeah? So when it comes to innovations, nowadays we are seeing two camps in digital transformation. It's either you have something new, technology-wise, or you have a very, very innovative or disruptive business model, or you can have a combination of both. Okay? And this is just only a quick flash of some of the examples. And I like to quote also, the same example I shared about smartphones. I've also read a recent report that actually predicts or foresees the decline or the death of smartphones probably in the next decade or so. And why do they say this? Today, I think everyone are very much attached to their smartphones, right? And today, there's a lot of technology built into it. Your smartphones can be actually your digital assistant, right? Samsung has its own digital assistant. Apple has its own digital assistant. Microsoft also has their own digital assistant. Everyone has a digital assistant, right? I also want one as well, right? But and moving forward, some of the new innovations coming out. Okay, for example, VR or augmented reality. Okay, some experts or futurists actually see that today, you're still interacting with the device with AR or even VR. Imagine those text messages or whatever content that you're viewing on your phone is already beamed directly into your eyes, into your head. So why do you need a smartphone? And all these innovations in AI, VR is really happening very rapidly today. All right? We won't have to wait 50 years to see perhaps the results of this innovation. Yeah? And beyond VR and AR, okay, I also read recently that the CEO of Tesla Motors, Elon Musk, I'm sure everyone has heard this name, he's even looking into integrating machine with the human brain. Right? Imagine, we're slowly turning to half machines, cyborgs. Right? He felt that today, technology advanced so fast that machines will actually advance faster than humans. But we as humans, our bodies are not moving as fast, right? We need upgrades. So he's putting together a team to look into how man and machine can interface with each other. And eventually that could even do away with all these other things that we are even talking about today. Yeah? So it's a very, very exciting world, as what Arthur C. Clarke said, right? The future is very fantastic. As a person who's very passionate about technology, I'm very excited to hear and see all this coming. But yet it's a little bit frightening, and we definitely need to know how to best manage it and make the best use out of it. And for that, that's why we are inviting some experts from industry to come and share their views on it. Yeah? And first, I would like to invite from Microsoft Malaysia, Mr. Michal Golebiewski, up on stage to share. And, Michal is the Chief Marketing Officer for Microsoft Malaysia, and is responsible for the entire marketing and the operation functions of the subsidiary here in Malaysia. Yeah, welcome, Michal. Next, we have Mr. Raymond Yap from Hewlett Packard Enterprise Malaysia. Raymond is the country pre-sales manager and is responsible in planning and development of the technical direction and resource for the organization. Last but not least, I think everyone's very much anticipating him, Mr. Andre Chan from Nando's Chickenland, Malaysia. So congratulations to Nando's. Under his leadership, they've recently won the Best Loyalty and Engagement Award for F&B. Welcome, everyone. I also have the seat right here. So, first question, first topic. What does digital transformation mean to each of you, and why do you think it's important? Michal, perhaps you'd like to start first.
Okay, so good morning everyone. Thank you very much for invitation, for inviting. So I think that you already gave a lot of answers why digital transformation is so important. Because either you will exist on this market in a few years or not. So disrupt or be disrupted. Without changing products, changing business models, we will not be able to exist. And I think that if I look now who is now on the stage, I think all of us made this digital transformation, made this transformation in the companies. So that's why I think it's good that we'll be able to share as well how we transform, how our companies transform to help other companies in this process. So it's just the must. It's not the question if we should do this, it's rather when.
Okay, very good. Raymond, your thoughts?
Oh, thank you very much. I would like to thank Phang for inviting us to be part of the panelist speaker. Okay, digital transformation, why it's important is because it impacts two levels of our customers' environment. The first one, Mr. Phang mentioned, was ability for customers to transform their business model. The second part is to look at how it transforms the operational model of our customers. Customers will see it from two ways. And if you're an economic student, you're looking at economic value, right, which is made up of, are you effectively, right, reaching out to your business to generate revenue? And are you efficiently engaged in that process, right, to drive that at a right cost level and a right timing level, right? If you take these two elements to it and you take it from a business optimization level, you can find ways to use digital changes in technologies, into process, and help your organization move on to be more competitive. So this is where HP sees the opportunities as we drive solutions for our customers. Right? And before that, we can only drive solutions for you as customers if you can clearly, right, without help, articulate the problems. So we do see this digital economy. I've been in this industry for 25 years. Tremendous change in our customers' environment, and a lot of trends, as we'll discuss it later during the panel, that will impact you as customers or you as resellers as well.
Thanks, Raymond. Andre, perhaps you can share what's your take on digital transformation.
Okay, good morning. Basically, for Nando's, the transformation is internally and externally. And why is it internally? Internally, okay, well, we are a chicken company. Anybody can sell chicken. So what's important is how technology can help every single employee in the company, whether it's in the office, whether it's in a restaurant, doing things a little bit more smarter, process change. And from external perspective, well, it's very hard to find any person in, well, at least in the, whether it's urban or suburb, that does not have a smartphone. And if we do not transform our business to provide an app or whatever things that will engage with customers or consumers, and like for Nando's, it's about consumers, which is every one of us here. If we do not engage digitally, we will basically lose out in this economy. So it is important. When do we do it? There's never a right time. I guess we just need to start small and just move along, grow along when the need comes.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that transforming digitally doesn't mean you need to disrupt or change processes significantly. But a lot of the examples that we're always hearing from the market that digital transformation is meant to help you to have a competitive edge, and in a way you would have to disrupt the market somewhat. How true is that? Sorry, Michal.
Okay, so yeah, on one, yeah, of course, digital transformation about the disruption, to changing. But then, as everyone said here, you can change different things, and then you can change either how you approach the customers. You can change how you empower people in the company. You can change how you can change the products, what kind of business models or operations. And if that should be, so that means if you should totally disrupt the market, perhaps not all of us will be able to do this. So it's more how you adapt to your customers' needs, and how you will adapt to your employees' needs, how you adapt the products to what is needed. And digital transformation is mainly about the data. So how will you get the data inside to understand what to do? So that's why sometimes it'll be evolution, sometimes it'll be revolution that to change the totally market, but not always disruption.
Okay, Andre, do you feel that some of the things that Nando's is trying to do with digital transformation is to disrupt, or pretty much to stay aligned with the market needs and demands?
Yeah, I guess to actually disrupt the environment, it's not everyone can do it. And for Nando's, I don't think we are ready to do that, and I don't think we can do that also. But the changes that we are doing or implementing internally, externally, is to stay ahead. More importantly, to be competitive in the market. Just remember, we have 1,007 employees working for us. If we do not change and to be adaptive to the environment, we are hiring the millennials. And if we do not have if let's say we take leave with a paper-based leave form, it doesn't make sense. The millennials believe on tech, so we have online leave application where they take their leave. So what I'm saying is that for Nando's, we do not disrupt, but we ensure that we stay correct for the time, and we stay transformed for the people that we hire, and also for our customers. Our customers are between age 25 to 35. They expect things that are technologically new. So that's where we are targeting our market.
Wow. So it's about the incoming workforce, the generation Ys, and all this that's actually driving the digital transformation for an organization. That's right. Okay. Raymond, what's your thoughts on this generation driving the digital transformation?
Well, certainly where we're looking at in terms of demographics, generation driving it. Think of China, and it was interesting. I was just with a core banking solution provider named Sunline, and they do core banking. Traditional banking in Malaysia is very over-the-counter. Now we're going more towards digital. But China, just 15 years ago. So there are a lot of changes that will be driven through demographics analysis, where you are concerned as brick and mortar business. If you're trying to do something that's going to disrupt the entire industry, it's akin to hitting a home run, right? Or you're hole-in-one. Before you do that, right, before you spend so much energy, by all means think of what are the effects you can do, right? Is to use digital transformation so that you don't get disrupted by new entries into your marketplace. That's why banks are really looking into the fintech industry. They are not an organically developed on the internet business, but they don't want to let these new businesses come in from external into Malaysia as well. Right? So where I advise my customers, look at digital transformation to improve how you engage your customers. And it's really great to hear how Nando's have done it. Because the better an organization is able to engage its customers, understand the behavioralistic natures of customers that drives satisfaction, the more they can get customers' loyalty.
Oh, great. So, Andre, perhaps what's the most successful thing that was implemented or was achieved through Nando's own digital transformation?
Two things. Internally, basically what we've done, we introduced online ordering for our delivery business. That does not really, okay, online business, most people believe that it will grow the business, double-digit growth. For Nando's, it's not about growing the business. It's about leveraging on technology, leveraging on what platforms are available to supplement our call center. Yes, the call center will probably eventually go away, but not today. But it will. Their work will be lesser and lesser. So, as of today, the online business has grown from has moved the call center business to an online, the 40-60% kind of percentage. That is a 1 year move from 0 to 40%. That relieved the call center from doing other things. In terms of external, if you're a Nando's fan, you will probably have an app installed on your phone already. We have this loyalty program. The loyalty program, it's basically a seamless online integration at the point where you dine in a restaurant, you pay for the check. At the point where the check is closed, if everything works perfectly, you get your reward immediately. So in the olden days where you have a stamp card for loyalty, you dine in, after paying you get a stamp. That whole process is being digitalized, and that removes that makes the whole process much more efficient, and that's the plan of it. And does it grow the sales? Yes, it does. And does people spend more? Probably, because they probably want to get more chilies, because that's the value of each reward. But that's the change. And I think to the question that's up there, the older generation. Okay, we are in the transition. The first question, okay? We are in the transition period. The older folks, yes, they probably will be left out eventually. But in the company, we have, some older folks, 30s, 40s, and some 50s. A lot of them adapt. Not all will be able to do fanciful stuff with their smartphone. They ask for help. So this is a generation, this is the time where actually the older generation asks help from the younger generation, rather than just giving orders to the younger generation. And that's where the change is. And the older folks in the company, I myself am very surprised, because they do Power BI, they do Office 365. they are facing the change and they are adapting to the change. Not all, but a big group of them.
Thank you, Andre, for that sharing. I think based on what you just shared, yes, you are on the cloud, aren't you? For the last question, yeah.
We are very much on the cloud, from Office 365 to Azure. We have moved a lot of things from data center to the cloud. And if security is a concern, there's no discussion. There's no need to worry about security or whether it's safe or whether it's be there. The only thing that we need to worry is the bandwidth, the ability to bring things down, up and down quick enough, and that's something that we can't control.
Michal, perhaps you can help out with the first question at the top from Phang. How do we get or educate our users?
Yeah, so overall, somehow relate to the previous question as well, because if digital transformation means that only millennials will be able to work, or no, it's with all revolution. Now we are talking about that we are in the fourth revolution. So during each revolution there was discussion, what about the older people, if they'll be able to adopt or not? It's the same with the people and the same with the companies. Either adopt or no, either we transform or not, either we change our mindset or not. So I'm not millennials, but I think that I still can do a lot in the current transformation, because it's not only about how we use the technology, but as well how we can understand customer needs. What is our experience from the past, and to understand how the world has been changed in the last year. Now about how we will educate the people. Again, so it's about everyone. So it's about the education system, it's about the government, it's about the organization of MDEC, it's about us, as technology providers on the market, how we will work with the education, how we will work with the organization. So Microsoft, for instance, started to we work for the many years with education, with Ministry of Education, Ministry of Higher Education. We have the programs for startups. We have the programs for students. We have the programs for companies who wants to start new business and develop new applications. So I think this is the responsible for business as well, how we'll drive this education. So I think that's it. If we can compare to more mature market like Singapore, Japan, Korea, in some cases, even if there are more the higher adoption of technologies, sometimes they are very blocked. They don't want to move to the cloud. They don't want to drive this digital transformation. Sometimes there's mental blockers in this one. That's why millennials can help this one, because for them it's natural. For them, smartphone is the part of the hand. It's not device. They have it all the time. And the thumb is, I know, their fingers are different than mine. They write on keyboard 3 times faster than me. It's natural for them. So that's why they will teach us as well how to be in this digital transformation.
But in reference to what you just shared with typing, I thought we have digital assistants now to capture voice and get it dictated out.
Yeah, so voice to text, yes. We will have technology that will be good for this one.
Very good. So that's perhaps looking at how technology can help the growing aging society without a lot of changes to the way they do it. It's enabling new tools that help them to be more digital ready. Perhaps we'll come back and revisit some of the questions on the screen, but back to some of my own topics here. Raymond, HP has been on a buying spree of sorts, right?
Yes.
A couple of months ago, I read about SimpliVity, one of the hyper-converged solution providers being acquired by HPE. Then next was Nimble Storage, an all-flash storage solution, and of course that's something else up on the up in the cloud. Being spoke about, but let's not go there. So what's all this acquisition in related to? Is it a transformation for HP itself?
So the relation to our acquisition has been on 3 areas. We believe that the marketplace is driving towards the cloud, but the fact is that it will be a hybrid world. There will be workloads that's suitable for on-premise and workloads that will be suitable for the cloud. And this is one of the key reasons why we have acquired companies like SimpliVity, because in the cloud or on-premise, we're talking about hyper-converged being an efficient manner for you to hold your data. Now, the important thing as we look at our acquisition, we acquired another company called Cloud Cruiser. Cloud Cruiser is based on the realization that customers are looking for different means of consuming IT. IT is transforming as a service-based organization. Having a solution that meters the usage of your users, the usage of your environment on-premise as well as off-premise into a cloud, whether it be Amazon or Azure, allows your IT organization to make better decisions. Of course, we also look at security elements because we believe that all data, in fact, a big percentage of data will be generated at the edge, not from your data center. Right? So we acquired a company that can detect abnormal behavior on edge devices, whether it's a CCTV camera, and we all remember a few months ago, we had a DDoS attack that was initiated by security cameras, right? So we have acquired a company to do that. So if you look at it, we are ready. The three core beliefs of HP are essentially, it will be a hybrid world. 2, the edge will generate data, the edge IoT. And 3rd, it's all about services. Services that you as customers will bear to your customers, and services that our partners will bring to you as customers, and HP in turn bringing services to you. All right, so you will look at how IT is transforming as services for you, because the way you want to consume IT is not on the platform you want to buy, but what services you want to derive from it.
Great, Raymond. I've also heard from customers looking to go into cloud hybrid IT. Cost is a prohibitive factor. Maintaining both sides of the
Well, HP announced that our preferred public cloud provider is Azure, Microsoft Azure. I think we signed some agreements between Mac and Satya Nadella, I think in July last year. I can only tell you, as users, as IT professional, watch out for a new product that's coming out together with Microsoft and some hardware vendors. HP is being one of them, which is Azure Stack. You're familiar with the public cloud Azure, all right? You want a consumption model of a cloud, utility-based, subscription-based. Well, this solution is going to be available right in your own private data center or a local service provider as well. That will help reduce the cost of data. Right? So you could run Azure Stack on premises. Your service provider, local service provider, right, could run Azure Stack on their data center, and you could leverage resources within Malaysia, addressing your concern, if you have any, on data sovereignty in there. So you're going to hear another speaker of ours in the breakout session. His name is Dennis Loh. He'll be presenting on hybrid IT. Much of the concept that he will share will be derived from what we are launching or what's available as a preview for you as customers as well with Azure Stack.
Thanks, Raymond. Wondering, one of the common challenges I hear from a lot of people trying to go through this digital transformation is infrastructure-wise, both internally and externally, like internet bandwidth or internet last mile connectivity availability. It's not really there. I mean, as someone who has already went through a transformation like this, what are your thoughts? Are these really real challenges?
Okay. Basically, just do what you can do. I think one of the questions that was raised was bandwidth is expensive. Backing up to the cloud, it's really expensive. Don't do it. Do it when maybe look at what I was talking to Raymond and if the HP Stack, Azure Stack, the solution that HP is coming out is cost effective, and what the problem for us is that the closest Azure cloud is actually sitting in Singapore, and the bandwidth to Singapore, while we don't see the cost, but actually we are paying for the cost. So if it's sitting in country, within some data center which is nearby, I think the speed will be there. So I think I will be looking at it when that comes. And to the first question, cloud computing and mobile computing. Actually, mobile computing is actually in the cloud. Whether you like it or don't like it, Nando's app is sitting in the cloud. It's pulling data from the cloud. It's not pulling data from the servers in the office. There's no point building the infrastructure in the office, building the bandwidth in the office to hit in the office. So we have everything in the cloud, and that will basically mean all customers or consumers get the same kind of experience when they pull data from the cloud.
Oh, okay. Perhaps you could share a little bit of some of the new innovation that Microsoft is pioneering. I've heard that there's a lot of work being done in artificial intelligence, virtual reality, even Internet of Things. Perhaps you could share a little bit.
Yeah, so few months ago, we made some survey in Southeast Asia, including Malaysia. For young people, what are the innovations that they are look for? What are the innovations that they see in the future will change environment, will change business or their life? And three top was, first one was IoT, second one was artificial intelligence, the third one was nanotechnology. So those three are in their mind. But then somehow I started to ask myself, is it future or it's present? And so IoT is already now. And Microsoft is a strong player here. We created the platform, of course in the cloud, Microsoft IoT platform that can collect information from any devices, any sensors. And so this is something that we are in, and this is innovation that we want to introduce in Malaysia, and we started already work with some vendors, with some partners, and some customers. Artificial intelligence for us is more about mixed, artificial reality, virtual reality. We think more about the mixed reality, and then we combine real world with the virtual world to help customers to do some tasks, some projects, to execute some project. And then about the artificial intelligence, this is something that, again, about the games, right? Computers are smarter than people. So science fiction movies. But if you call centers, sometimes it's not the person who is responsible. More and more chatbots will respond. And again, technology is there. The IPs are there. And you don't have to create this one. So you can leverage the existing technology, leverage the innovative technology, and integrate with your solutions. And that can help you to understand data, but as well help to predict some actions, or can help you to interact with customers. So those innovations are already now. Microsoft, together with partners, are in, and again, it's not only for big customers, it's for small businesses as well.
Okay. In relation to the question at the top of the screen, the biggest challenge. So you talk about this innovation. How does Microsoft envision, to help, customers who are really interested to move, and they do have many challenges, whether it's from a regulatory challenge, compliance.
Yeah, so I think that the biggest challenge is our mindset. It's ourself. So to think that cloud is something that's okay. We use the cloud for years, but we didn't talk that this is cloud. If you think about online mails, if you think about Facebook, no one said that Facebook is the cloud. Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo Mail, no one said it's cloud, but it was cloud. So that's why we used cloud for many years. But still now, if you said, oh, it's cloud, so then people say, oh, so then it's not secure. So then I will not move to the cloud because it's not secure. We will not post data there. But you are posting data every day to the cloud, and if you call if you use phone, your call is in the cloud. Your call is somewhere on the servers, kind of private cloud, hybrid cloud, public cloud, but it's somewhere stored. The same with the public cloud. So all the time you are posting data there. If they are secured, the most probably data centers provided by Microsoft or by Amazon or by Google or by Facebook, those are the most secure data center in the world. So that's why if you think that your server is more secure than server in data center, I'm not sure. So that's why the security is blocked, but it's in our mindset. Then of course we have some, we can say the blockers from the legislation perspective, but it's more because still there is no clarity what is allowed, what is not allowed. And this is that it was presented today that now we have regulation about Uber, right? So in the future we have the regulation about cloud. Even in the future we have to have the regulation about taxes for robots, if robots should pay taxes or not, because they are replacing people. So regulation usually is not following the changes in the technology. That's why sometimes it can be perceived as a blocker. But again, I think that it's more in our mindset than in the real physical blockers.
Great. Raymond, you have anything to add to Michal's comments?
Well, again, regulation is important. Helping our customers move to the cloud. The progresses will be there. Telecommunication cost is going down, and biggest concern is, of course, Malaysia being a relatively expensive place for data communication. I guess this is something that just yesterday I was with the Data Center Association of Malaysia. I was speaking to telco companies like WETS, High-Tech Padu, service providers, and they're clearly aware of our costs, right? But they're also clearly aware that the cost is being addressed by the national plans of Malaysia. So as regulatory environments goes down, I also foresee that the cost goes down, right? And it was already mentioned by Phang, our connectivity speeds and demand will always go up. All right, so I do believe that if there's a time to start looking at how you can start looking at what are the workloads that you want to move to the cloud, what do you want to leverage to the cloud on an efficiency level, this is a good time to start looking at it.
Great. We are almost out of time. Perhaps we can just wrap up. Andre, any piece of advice to prospective people here who are looking to start their own journey for digital transformation?
I guess depends on what industry you are in. There's no real time, as in good or bad time, of going into whether it's online, digital kind of transformation. But what you can start is the internal part. Look at the processes, change whatever, implement whatever processes that can be changed more efficiently, and that could be the start of the transformation. And then, if you are dealing with consumers like in retail, then you look at what your retail consumers would need to start your transformation. And if you deal with the different vertical industries, then like for example, logistics customer will be like Nando's. So they would need to provide probably not the consumer kind of transformation or things to Nando's, but something that will affect Nando's. For example, the question on IoT. If we store our frozen products in logistics in a DC, what we probably want to know is the temperature of that chiller maintaining at maybe negative 18 degrees constantly. So that kind of information to us will be important. So do what is critical, do what is needed for your industry. Do not, to be honest, do not jump into it. If a vendor comes to you and say, well, you can do this and do that, everything sounds nice, everything sounds very beautiful, but do what you can do, spend what you can spend. Don't overdo it.
Very good piece of advice. So I guess we want to just wrap up. Once again, thanks to all panelists. So, ladies and gentlemen, just to wrap up, my takeaways for everyone here is, don't wait till the last moment to look at digital transformation. Okay, changes are always happening day in, day out. Right? Come talk to us. Come talk to our technology partners. We're always here we're always happy to help out. There's a lot of great sessions coming up that can probably answer a lot of your questions that was posted on the boards. But otherwise, come talk to the crew, the ones in the yellow tag. We'll be more than happy to help out wherever we can. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Phang. Thank you so much to all the panelists, especially Mr. Michal, Mr. Raymond, and Mr. Andre. All right, come on, ladies and gentlemen, give them another big round of applause for such informative discussion.